Hi everyone, we are here today to discuss some more tools for the classroom. So we're going to get started on our second Hangout. The first tool that we'll be discussing is Padlet. Padlet was co-created by Nitesh Goel and Pranav Payush. Information about Goel and Payush can be found on the Padlet About Us page. Payush has moved on to other opportunities and has actually started another foundation outside of Padlet, so additional information about him and Goel can be found on their Crunchbase profiles, which I have attached in the slideshow. The purpose of Padlet is to create a wall where people can contribute ideas and information to a given topic. It's kind of like a Facebook wall, except all you can do is post comments, and there's no picture sharing or anything. It's basically a school version of a Facebook wall. The account is free and easy to use and can be linked with your Google account. Students can be added to the wall by a teacher so they don't have to provide anything other than their name to start making comments. And there are other teachers who have shared how they used this tool in their classroom, so there's not a lot of searching you have to do to figure out that it is very helpful in the classroom. Possible uses would be having the class submit notes to the wall during a lesson so that they can look back on them later. So you can have them submit notes live, and then later that night, if they want to review at home, all they would have to do is go onto the Padlet page on their computer or their phone or their laptop, whatever they have, and they'll be able to see what the notes that were submitted. You can create an event wall and embed it to your class website so that parents can view what's going on and they can post questions if they have them. You can have lesson checkpoints answered virtually rather than having hands raised or on paper, and you can provide lesson information for substitutes or absent students and have that embedded to your website as well. Applying the SAMR model, you can substitute using Padlet responses instead of having students answer questions aloud or on paper. For augmentation, you can have students write their answer down, snap a picture of themselves with the answer, and post it to the wall, which was something that was more creative to use it. You can modify by having students create a Padlet wall in groups and come up with a topic review question to share with the class, and then the class can post their responses in live time. And for redefinition, you can make a student Padlet wall public and share it with everyone so that they can get feedback from questions all over the world. So they could post a question like, how do you celebrate Christmas in your country? And people from all over the world could post their answers, and they could get a real cultural influence there. In conclusion, you should use Padlet because students can answer questions without having to speak in class, which gets rid of a lot of anxiety for students. It creates a more interactive classroom, and it implements technology to make a 21st century environment. Teachers can moderate posts to ensure that all the content is safe. So if a kid tries to be goofy and post an inappropriate comment, teachers can make sure it does not show up on the board. They can screen all the comments going onto it. Some of the constraints are that students use screen names, which could easily be figured out by their peers and cause them embarrassment if they have wrong answers or if they think a question is dumb. And some school routers have the site blocked since it mimics the social media site Facebook. So since it's a wall and you're posting and you can communicate with people outside the school, some servers do have it blocked. So you would need to get it approved by the administration before using it. The next tool we'll be discussing is Poplet. Poplet was created by Philip Tyangson and Jared Schiffman. Information about the team of creators and all their other employees can be found on their Crunchbase profiles, which have been linked above. The purpose of Poplet is to create a visual web of information that students can interact with. So when I looked at this, I thought of it as a character web. So you have a circle in the middle with your primary point, and then you have descriptors of it around the point, and it's interactive. So the account is easy to make, but it does not connect with any other account. So you have to create an account that can only be used on this site. A free membership only allows you to make 10 Poplets. Any more requires a fee, which could be a stumbling block in a lot of classrooms. And a fee of $2 must be paid for each student account that is added, or else the student will have to make their own account and share information that parents might not want them to. Possible uses would be student presentations or building an information visual as a class. Applying the SAMR model, the use of Poplet could be put in place of PowerPoint for presentations in a single topic lesson. So if you're learning about the War of 1812, you could have branches coming off of it, such as the battlefields, and then you could also have what people were doing at home, what the economy was like, all with the War of 1812 in the middle. For augmentation, students listen to a lesson, then decide what information should be included in their topic web, and they can create it themselves. Modification, students can break into groups and create Poplets based on an assigned topic that applies to the lesson as a whole and then share it with the class. Redefinition, students can research a topic on their own that has not yet been learned in class, create their Poplet at home as a project, and present it to the class as a form of teaching. Why Poplet? Poplet provides an organized visual representation of information and gives students an opportunity to be creative when they're making presentations. The biggest constraint would be the cost, and I could see that as a major constraint for many school districts, as they would rather use something free than something that they have to pay for, because a lot of times funds are limited. So I think that is the biggest downfall for this tool. And now on to Emily.
Okay, screen share. All right, so we're going to be talking about Spider Scribe. So it was unclear who officially created the Spider Scribe tool. However, all the information that you could need to know about how it works and how the tool functions and what you can do with it can all be found on the homepage, which a link has been inserted at the end of this presentation. Spider Scribe is an online mind mapping and brainstorming tool that allows you to organize your ideas by connecting notes, files, calendar events, and freeform maps. So one way they do this is by capturing and connecting ideas, and that really allows you to capture and organize your text, your notes, files, any images or events, anything like a location that you might have. And then it allows you to share and collaborate all this information online. And with that, you can create private or public maps. And you can also collaborate and share with other people. It could be students working together, it could be educators working together, an entire school working together, it could be administration. And then what's really cool about this is that you can access it from anywhere. And the maps that are restored in the cloud, which is kind of like an Apple cloud, like for your iPhone type of thing, can be accessed from anywhere. And they also have a Spider Scribe Junior app, which is for the iPads. So you can use this on the iPads, and you can also use it on laptops and desktops. And the tool is free, so that's a nice little feature as well. So applying SAMR, as a substitute, you can use Spider Scribe instead of writing pen and paper planning. So if you were to plan for an essay about a specific topic on why does one culture do this for a holiday, you could brainstorm different ideas about why different cultures do different things, what they do, how they do it, when they do it, where they do it, pictures and videos and maps and all kinds of things. For augmentation, students can pull out information from the overall lesson to make a map on a smaller topic. So if there was an overarching topic, students could pull one small thing out of that and make a smaller mind map for that topic specifically. To modify, students can break into pairs or groups to create a mind map that focuses on one area of a unit or lesson. And for redefinition, you can create an integrated map of a topic with videos, images, other sources, and really just creating all different, grasping all different aspects of something to really get the point across. And in conclusion, Spider Scribe is a great way to collect and organize information. It allows you to easily and effectively work alongside with others, and it easily incorporates other resources into your work. So it's very easy to pull information from so many different sources that it's easy to just put into words in ways that students can understand it. As a constraint, it can be difficult for students. If they're not very organized, this may be very difficult or overwhelming for them. It's just so much information that goes into it that they may not know how to organize it properly, and so that could be a struggle for someone. Next is SkyMap. SkyMap was originally Google Sky Maps and was created by Google engineers in Pittsburgh, which launched as Google SkyMap in 2009. However, in 2012, it became an open source, and it was ceased to be developed by Google, but is now currently still developed by the same engineers, but is now on a volunteer basis. So they no longer create it on behalf of Google. They just do it because they want to. So what is it? It's basically like a handheld planetarium. It is a virtual reality star map for Android devices. And when the app is open, you can point your phone at the sky with the camera facing up. And the app generates different names of planets, stars, celestial objects, constellations, anything that you would be able to see with a magnifying glass you could see in the sky with your phone. And SkyMap doesn't require internet connection. However, you may have trouble updating your location or what might be in the sky if you don't have full internet functions. But it's basically just a really cool virtual reality app that lets you see everything that could be going on in the sky at that moment when you're looking. And the app is free, so that's also nice. So applying SAMR as a substitute, you can use SkyMap to look at the constellations instead of looking at a paper map of where the constellations might be in relative terms. For augmentation, students can recognize the constellations, stars, and planets that we see on a daily basis and give further information on them. To modify, students can focus on finding a certain planet, star, or constellation as part of the whole lesson. And for redefinition, students could look at the stars and planets and create their own constellations based off of the stars that they see. So in conclusion, why SkyMap? It gives students a real life hands-on experience with things that they aren't usually able to see. I know it's so hard to see stars in the sky now or to even know where actual constellation is, but by giving that virtual reality of pointing a phone up and going, oh, that's where the Big Dipper is, a student could then, go another day and teach someone else, this is where the Big Dipper is. Like, I saw it. And then they can start to learn even more. It gives students the opportunity to experience things that other people see in different parts of the world. You can look at it won't show you in the sky, but you can look at other parts of it and see what other people in other places are seeing at the same time that you're looking, because the sky is different in different places. Constraints, there's lots of room for technical difficulties. If your Android's not working, the compass is located the wrong way, your location was inaccurate, the Wi-Fi wasn't working, or it's not reaching to where you are. There's just a lot of room for any form of technical difficulty within that, because you do rely on your cell phone or an Android device, and those can be kind of frustrating. And it could just not properly work or load without internet, and that can also be very frustrating. So next we have Easily with Kayla.
Okay, so Easily. It was created by Vernon Southward, and more information could be clicked using this link and on their About page. Easily is an online tool that can help create graphs and other useful charts that can help during a presentation, a meeting, a lesson, or even for review. Basically what it is a spreadsheet, one-page spreadsheet kind of chart, and you can use it as a flow chart. So let's say you had the scientific method and you wanted to learn like where the hypothesis goes and everything, then you can use that. Okay, and applying it to SAMR, you could substitute the chart as a new handout instead of a bulleted list. Students can create their chart easily to pass out during a presentation, so it can also be used as a flow chart. Students can start from one topic and end with another if they wanted to, or they can also create like pie charts or graphs, so that can help with history as well as math or fractions or anything like that. Students can use these in groups while researching data to include in their chart. While researching this tool, I did notice a lot of percentages and data and facts. So if you were researching schools, you could research, the percentage of each demographic, and this tool would be very helpful for students in researching that and trying to explain it to their class. And students can use the data collected to share it with the class and teach their own lesson, which would be very cool, because then other students would be able to look at the pictures and break it down easier. In conclusion, students can use Easily to represent new information in a graphic and mapped out feature. And it's easy to follow along, it's easy to use, and it's also free. Some constraints, of course, would be not having any internet or not having the correct data to put into the chart. Next, I did Google Docs, and Sam Schillis was the founder of Writely, and Aaron Levy was the founder of Box. The way that the story kind of works with these two founders came together and discussed ideas about Writely, which is similar to Google Docs, but it is a previous system. A few days later, Google took over and bought Writely and used it as a word processor for Google Docs. And Sam and Aaron kind of discussed ideas on how to make this better. Okay, Google Docs creates documents. It creates presentations using a Google Drive. The Google Drive can be accessed from anywhere. It's also like a cloud processing system. It is real time, so anything that you're editing doesn't need to be saved. It can also be done at any time, anywhere, and it's all saved into the same drive. The drive is a large space, so you don't run out very easily. You can create folders in there, and you can have more than one editor at a time. So if you had a group project, you can all go in there and edit the paper or add information at the same time without messing up anybody else's work. You can also hyperlink in the Google Doc, so you can add resources without having to add the link itself, if that makes sense. You can just use one word. This helps save a lot of time, because then you don't need to go in and print out thousands of different pieces of paper and then thousands of different resources. You can just do it all in one. You can also link it to Google Sheets, which is basically an Excel version of Google, and Google Slides, which is a presentation version. So you can link them all together and have one big presentation or paper and submit it to your teacher. Applying it to SAMR, you can use Google Doc instead of Microsoft Word, or Google Sheets instead of Microsoft Excel. It does save a lot of time. You can use it to submit a rough draft for peer review, and the teachers or students can edit the paper. You can also link to text other resources, so you don't need to have those extra papers that are unnecessary, that cost a lot of money. And then it is real time, so you can have easy access to it with Wi-Fi. In conclusion, students can use Google Docs for papers. Teachers can use it for presentations. It's very interactive. It's easy to use, free, and you can access it anywhere. You do need to create an email address through Google to use Google Slides. If you don't have an email address, that can be a constraint. You would need to make one. If you don't have access to that, or internet access, that is a constraint as well. We're going to go ahead and go to Cospaces EDU with Brittany.
Okay, so I did Cospaces EDU. Cospaces is actually a Delightex company, and Eugene Believ is the founder and CEO of Delightex. He has been involved in the software industry for many years and has vast experiences in entrepreneurship through a variety of other projects, ranging from the investment business all the way through the food industry. He combined his passion for innovation and knowledge in the software development. Now he has taken on virtual reality, and the Cospaces EDU is the result of his virtual reality endeavor. Cospaces EDU is a virtual reality app for the classroom that is easy to use for students and teachers. Creating in Cospaces is a simple process from the library of assets suitable for all ages and subjects. Assets and environments included with Cospaces EDU can all be brought to life with the use of coding. Students and teachers have the choice of Blockly, which is a visual tool that helps introduce the logic of coding, JavaScript, or TypeScript for those who are more fluent in coding. The use of the free mobile app and a cardboard headset is all you need to experience your creations. You can also explore your 3D worlds with a tablet or a smartphone in gyroscope mode, which is the 360 mode, if you don't own a headset, which is really good because, you know, a lot of classrooms, you can't really afford to buy everybody their own headset. And it's good for like group work as well. This allows for real-time collaboration with students so teachers can observe the creation process and they can monitor how assignments are understood and carry out by the students in the classroom. So why Cospaces? It allows teachers to provide the students with all the tools they need to create, code, and explore their own virtual worlds. It's simple and easy to use. Platform can be operated across all devices, whether that's on the browser on your desktop or Chromebook, or through the companion app. It has a free 2-month trial, and licenses can be purchased in groups of 50 for $75. So that's good for that wants to purchase multiple licenses for different classrooms. If you hold a license for Cospaces EDU, you will have unlimited access for the number of licenses that you purchase for a full year. The platform is completely open and you are free to use all of the tools, features, and items. Updates provide new objects to be used as well as software improvement or additional features. And all of this is included in the price of your license plan. The page on the website for official lessons plans can actually be downloaded, adapted to your liking, and then implemented in your classroom. So that's really nice if you're struggling to come up with a lesson plan for virtual reality. It kind of gives you some ideas. Applying SAMR, for substitution, you use virtual reality to take the field trips to learn the things visually. Augmentation, students can explore the different virtual worlds using the technology. Modification, teachers can have students complete assignments while exploring a certain virtual reality. Redefinition, students can complete the assignment based on virtual reality that is anywhere in the world. So it kind of they can't go. Some of the benefits and constraints of Cospaces, the students can get to experience technology in a fun, exciting, and educational way, and it allows teachers to take students on field trips that otherwise would be impossible. But students who are visually impaired won't be able to use this technology, and the students must have internet connections, cell phones, and/or tablets. So that, if a student doesn't have a cell phone, that might be a challenge. Cclip, and a Cclip is a CMU company, and it's the chairman of CMU, Sylvan Abitable, started his life as an entrepreneur, taking his first company public in 1985. And that company was involved in connectivity and structured cabling solutions. Him and his partner were behind Exchange Market Systems, which is an electronic trading platform sold to major Canadian financial institutions. And then he was the CEO of a TSX trading company selling software-controlled switch managed carriers in the US and Europe. And with his partner, he invented, which is an intelligent tutoring system, company selling to Fortune 500, and they are the ones that are behind Cclip. What is Cclip? It is an online canvas that lets you communicate using a webcam or a microphone. It is free Web 2.0 tool, which allows its screencast on top of a whiteboard. And it will record what you say, draw, type, etc. You can even add images to support your explanations. Teachers can create a how-to guide to walk students through the different steps of a process, recordings to provide students with feedback or students can use it to create book trailers or introductions to projects that they are working on. Teachers can use Cclip to create flipped lessons. instructional videos with annotated illustrations on the whiteboard, and then they can share them with the students to watch at home. Students can use it for storytelling, and they can narrate or they can create short stories using their own images together with narrations using their voice. Cclip does not require an account and provides a URL which allows you to share your creation. Applying SAMR to Cclip for substitution, teachers can create and teach lessons by using Cclip. For augmentation, teachers can add extra material into the lesson on Cclip so students can expand on the lesson. Modification, the teachers can have students watch the lesson for homework, and when they come into class the next day, they can practice the techniques or material discussed in the lesson. Definition, students can use Cclip to explain images, and the Cclip shared with students that are absent do this at home while the other students are in class. Some of the benefits and constraints of Cclip. Cclip gives students and teachers a way to connect outside of the classroom, and it allows for students to watch the recordings from the teachers so they can watch as many times as needed. And teachers can have students create their own recordings. Some of the constraints is students need to have access to a computer at all times to be able to watch or make recordings, and students with disability may need help using Cclip to make the recordings. So here's our reference page. This is about all the tools we've talked about, and you can just click on these and enjoy the tools that we've talked about today.